So hi everyone, and welcome to Management Today's Leadership Lessons series. Today we're going to be looking at how to lead from a distance, and I'm joined by three panelists. We have Chris Hirst, the CEO of Havas Creative, Matt Pears, COO of Linklaters, and Katrin Herrling, CEO and co-founder of Funding Xchange. Thank you all for joining me. I know it's a really stressful and uncertain time for all business leaders. To kick off, it'd be great if you could each give me a snapshot of your business and how it's been affected by coronavirus. Chris, let's start with you.
Well, it's significantly. We have offices all over the world. All of our people, with the exception of China, all of our people in all of our offices are working from home. All of our clients, with the exception of China, are working from home. All of our suppliers are working from home. So, enormously, in pretty well every aspect of our business life, our normal business life has been disrupted, which isn't to say that we can't continue to function, but it's a huge disruption.
And how are your employees adapting to this?
Well, my impression is everybody, not just our employees, but everybody I've spoken to at other companies, our clients, I think everybody's adapted to it surprisingly well, really. Because it wasn't, I think one of the things we will all reflect on afterwards is every country seemed to be taken by surprise. So it's like nobody learned from any that happened before. So for everybody, one minute, one day you're going into work as normal. Literally the next day, everybody's at home, everybody. And so there was no transition at all. So everybody's adapted surprisingly well, I think. But nevertheless, I think that it's very hard for people on a personal level and a professional level. And I certainly think during this and after this, I think there'll be, people will have the personal and the mental health issues of this will go beyond the lockdown, I think, for sure.
And what's happening to your revenues?
Well, they're not going up. Our revenues, we're under pressure. It varies by market a little bit. It varies by sector, by client sector, and it varies by which sector our businesses are in. But yeah, it's going to be a very tough Q2.
And any tips on how you've been dealing with this as a leader?
Well, I think to an extent we're all making it up a little bit as we go along. I think leading at a distance is quite difficult anyway. So if you're in the UK and you have a team who aren't immediately around you, that has a whole set of different challenges. I think leaders have to, as best they can, one of the big challenges I think that all leaders have in a situation is a key task for a leader in normal circumstances is to be able to give some sense of direction. Here's what we're trying to get to, and here's how we're going to get there. And I think at the moment, a lot of businesses are not just businesses, organizations, governments are playing catch up because there was no opportunity really to prepare for this. So I think a lot of leaders, a lot of businesses are living more day to day, more week to week than we would ever be used to. What I do and am seeing now, not just in our business, in our clients, but in other parts of the world, is clients and organizations are starting, now we're into week 3, week 4 for many places, are starting to transition a little bit more from the let's just try and keep our head above water, work out what's going on phase into, okay, we're sort of have worked out how this all works for the moment. Let's start to think about what happens at the end of it and how we plan our business for that. So I feel like that transition is starting to happen now in our company and in our clients' companies as well.
Katrin, Chris mentioned that many leaders are sort of making it up as they go along. Is that how you feel? Give us a snapshot of what's going on with you.
Yeah, it's a really interesting question. So we are a business that helps small businesses access finance. We don't provide finance ourselves, but we have a digital platform where small businesses come to us, and then we introduce them through digital mediation to those lenders who can help them fund. And what that means actually is, on one hand, that our model, because it's so digital, our technology lives in the cloud. It gave us really robustness by transitioning into a working from home model. And we've actually had very little challenge around people just continuing with their day-to-day roles, but working from home, which is quite fortunate. I think what was slightly different for us is two different elements that conspired to give us more visibility into how things are unfolding. And one is from the perspective of having insights into how SME lending flow is evolving, has given us real-time visibility on how markets are reacting, how banks are reacting, how lenders are reacting, and the impact of government policy. And what we've done from week one, when this actually hit, is we actually thought about how we can use the information, the real-time information that we have access to help and inform those in our sector, policymakers, lenders, SME advocates, to help them gain visibility around what's the need, what's the demand, what actually needs to happen. So in a way, we feel quite privileged to be in a position where we share data with the broader ecosystem that helps them actually take action. And that has given us a sense of empowerment, of not just having a destiny that somebody else does to you, but actually being able to actively shape decisions in the ecosystem.
It's giving you a mission.
Yeah, and actually I'll happy to share about what this meant for my team as well, because it has truly been empowering to the team to see how some of the solutions that we can help provide into the market is having a real impact on a day-to-day basis. But the second part that makes us slightly unusual is that my chairman actually was based in Shanghai and continues to be based in Shanghai. And as a result, we had some visibility into how early response from the initial outbreak actually in China played out. And given his wife is running one of the largest private corporations in China, we had some really good insights into what playbooks were actually working and what playbooks weren't working. And having a really good chairman actually meant that 3 weeks before lockdown, in a board meeting, he asked us what our response is. And I think you won't be surprised that we said, well, we have no idea, let us come back to you. But essentially, we were given notice by our chairman that we have to have a plan. Now, I won't pretend that it was a great plan, but at least the team had a chance to think through what would we actually do if we were ending up in a similar situation. And that allowed us from day one to have at least an emerging playbook that we could use. And it was very simple. It was initially, it's about providing information to our employees, to our customers, to those policymakers, because there weren't immediately solutions, but there was certainly information around what was going on. And then we've built on that as we went forward.
So was it almost around over communicating?
It was actively thinking about how we can use the insights that we have to help everyone retain a sense of control. And that because we're facing into a situation that's so uncertain, what is the information that we can give to our employees that will help them understand what's going on in the environment. And for week one, for example, we had a clear idea of how the environment was going to respond to these events in terms of policy making, etc. And we broke it down to our employees in terms of very actionable things that they would need to do to help us prepare for this unfolding need for finance that we were expecting from businesses. And it became very actionable. We needed to make changes to our platform. We needed to change the journey we were having. We were putting information on the website. And so making it really pragmatic and actionable, but having a real plan that they could execute, give them a sense of what they can do to help. But equally, because we prepared information from day one that could be shared with policymakers, when actually government came and asked us for information, it took us 2 hours to produce the information they were looking for. And so it's that sense of anticipating what we can contribute and ensuring that we're getting ready to contribute. That is the piece that I think for the first 3 weeks has been predominant in terms of how we've been trying to